Fran, was it good for Mike to get going a little bit tonight?
You know, I think, you know, for him, you know, he's obviously a terrific player, you know, but he's been a little bit sideways, and boy, was he really good tonight at the start of the game. He was running our break, he was shooting the ball when he was over, making shots. 7 assists, 1 turn. I'm really happy for him.
Did you kind of move him over to point tonight to get going?
We did, and I thought we, you know, got Dev going. I thought Dev early on was terrific. From the wing, moving without the ball, did a 3 early.
Is that something you're going to look at going
Yeah.
forward?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you do work this way in practice too?
Yeah.
Cleaning up this game?
Just to show the versatility between the two of them, because they can both play either position, or?
No, I mean, you know, I think that's what we're going to do.
Aaron White, another strong performance. He seems to get the points in spurts.
You know, he's really been working on his game. You can tell. You know, his jumper looks really good. I mean, he's moving without it. He's driving it, getting to the free throw line. Playing with great confidence, I think. That's what you want to see.
Utah really looks comfortable out there after getting the jitters out.
I mean, it's like, you know, I put him in, and I don't really even want to take him out. You know, but I'm rotating some guys. I mean, you know, a guy like McCabe, I mean, he played great. He was spectacular. We're going to need them all.
You okay with the play where Devin put it off the glass to Aaron for a dunk?
No, I would have preferred we not do that. You know, I told him as much. There's no reason for that in this game.
How about Millsap? I mean, I think you had 8 free throw attempts in the first 3 minutes of the second half. Just seemed to be real aggressive taking the ball.
You know, I think he quietly has been very good too in all 3 of our games. You know, he got foul trouble in one of them. I don't remember which one, but you know, I said from the beginning, he looks really good to me. I mean, he's in great shape. He's really confident with his game and with his jumper, with his rebounding and catching everything. You can tell he's a senior, I think.
Coming off the game you had Sunday, I don't want to say an eye-opener, but did the guys really come focused to practice after that, leading up to this game?
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, everybody wants to turn it into something that it wasn't. You know, it was like some kind of aberration. You know, it's just disrespectful to our opponent. These guys are pretty good. You know, I don't care what people said about what they were supposed to do this year. That team's good. Scored 101 last night. They go on the road and beat Northern Illinois, come from behind. It's a good team. You know, so you know, I would hope that they would come to practice to play hard and get better every day. You know, not because a team that everyone thought we were going to beat worse than we beat them. You know, it took everything we had to get them. And that's just the way this game is. I mean, I continue to be amazed at how everybody's surprised. Turn on the TV every night. Somebody's getting beat. Somebody's getting beat. I mean, oh, I didn't think that would happen. 3, 4, 5 times a night it happens. And sometimes it's by double digits. Sometimes it's, wow, it didn't come out of nowhere. It's a 15-point loss. I thought they were better. That's what Division I college basketball is. Everybody's on scholarship. And every team's got players. And when you have experience, which that team had, you can beat anybody.
I guess what I was getting at, you know, in the exhibition game, you were unhappy with you said the team outplayed you, and you weren't happy with some of the effort you got. So I guess, are they more attuned to where you want them to be right now?
Getting there. Yeah, getting there. We still got a ways to go, I think.
Will you play more zone, and will teams around the country play more zone with the hand-checking rules now, Coach?
I don't know, Jess, if it would be like, okay, we're gonna go into the game with that in mind. I think what'll end up happening is teams may be forced to play zone more than they may want to. You know, provided, or, you know, I guess it's just especially when you might have 3, 4 guys in foul trouble. And we can absorb it better than some teams. But in a you got 3 or 4 key guys in foul trouble, and you need them on the floor on offense, and you got to play zone. There's really no other way around it. But you know, that's not why we played zone. Obviously, in the second half, we wanted to work on our zone. In the second, you know, we feel like we're going to be playing it. We better work on it. There was no reason to extend and pressure up and that kind of thing. It was let's try to focus on 20 minutes of a lot of guys getting reps and playing the zone.
Talk about teams being able to beat other teams. Abilene Christian last night, I think was up on Maryland for a while. They're their school is making that transition.
What did they do? They made 10 threes in the first half. If a team makes 10 threes in the first half, you're going to have trouble beating them. I don't care if you're the Lakers. You have a hard time beating a team that makes 10 threes in the first half. I've always said you have a hard time beating a team that makes 10 threes in a game. But in the first half, and no wonder Maryland was down 6 with 14 minutes to go. That's what it is. So you got to be ready. You know, and the only mistake that I saw, you know, and again, I wasn't at the game, I just read the art, you know, was they shot maybe too many threes. They were one for 18, Maryland was in the first half. So they make 10, and Maryland goes 1 for 18 from 3. So, you know, you learn from those mistakes. You know, maybe you get it inside more, whatever. I mean, that's what I'd want to do. I'm sure that's what Mark said. But when you play a team that's making shots, you know, and they get confident, they get comfortable, and the difference, you know, with Nebraska Omaha was they physically could play with us. Their bigs could physically play with us. They were big and strong and tough. And their guards were quick and could make shots, and they're a really good point guard.
How valuable are these games?
Incredibly valuable because you have to prepare, Rick, the same way. Okay, every game plan is different. Who we play and what are their strengths and weaknesses. You know, I've coached in a lot of these games. I've said it to you guys before. And you look at Maryland Eastern Shore and you say, wow, you know, we got them by 40, but I mean, you need all your bullets in a gun. I mean, their best player went 33 the other night. He doesn't play. You know, it's a tough environment for them to come in without their best player, without their best three-point shooter. I'm not saying it would have made up 40 points, but it would have made a difference in the game, especially in the first half, I think. And, you know, so every game is a challenge. Every game is figuring out, you know, we're all still, you know, what sub-rotations, who's going to do what. And, you know, just to see Pete come back. Pete struggled early. He came back. He ended up getting 10 points. And Utah just being able to play 18 minutes and get a double-double. You know, Woodbury missed a couple shots. I thought he was great. You know, Adam, what did he go for? He had 6 rebounds. You know. So, I mean, we're getting a lot out of the 5 spot. We're getting a lot off the bench. Our guard play's been solid. You know, I think our defense at half court has to get better. That hasn't been as good as it's going to need to be, whether we're man or zone. But that's why you work on it now.
That's what I was going to ask you, the value of this as far as you rotate, establishing a rotation, figuring out the pieces. I know it's going to change by game, but still.
You know, a lot of guys like to get into, you know, this guy comes out, this guy goes in, this guy comes, you know, and there's always a certain element of that, but it's going to be a game-by-game feel for me. You know, in particular in the backcourt, and especially when Oglesby comes back.
You've always talked about how the three-point shooting's been there for you in practice, and now tonight you get a few threes early on and finish, I believe, 7 of 17. How encouraging is that for you to see that in an actual game?
Well, you know, it is encouraging. I'm not surprised. Mm-hmm. You know, I expect Mike to shoot like that. He's a really good shooter. Dev is a good shooter. Peter Jock is a good, you know, Utah. I mean, we got guys that can shoot, but it's like anything else. Sometimes you have those games. I talked about Maryland a second ago. Maryland's got really good shooters. Mm-hmm. They just won 1 for 18 in the first half. All right, they end up coming back. So sometimes you're just off a little bit. A couple guys are off, a couple in and outs, and you get behind and you start pressing a little bit. And now you got to drive the ball. You got to throw it inside. You got to mix up the in and out. And I think we have enough maturity and talent to know and understand that.
Playing the Abilene Christian, I know this was a game that took you, it seemed like half the summer to try to get, you know, how were you able to get it kind of done?
There was a stretch there where we thought we were going to have to play a non-1 because we got into the tournament late, and there are a lot of parameters that exist with regard to the tournament for this team. If they have to play 2 teams, then they have to play in a 4-team tournament. So you need open dates, you need a lot of things that have to fall into place. And by the time we got in the tournament, everybody else was already in a tournament. So we were struggling to find a Division I team to play. And then, you know, obviously we want to play an all Division I schedule, but we were actually considering playing a 9-1 as a 1-year exception because we couldn't find anybody, and they became available and it worked out. And they're pretty good, as we saw. If you're on the road at Maryland, you're up 6 with 14 minutes to go. You got some talent.
Anything else, guys?
Okay, thanks, guys.